let's talk about school. So today I want to talk about exactly what the title says. Now, Amazon just delivered something. I'll be right back. I got a book. Alright, where was I? Right. Why do I hate school? Let's start with some facts here. Since 1990, college costs are up 500%, 400% over average consumer price index. I don't really know what that means, but it means that school costs more and is worth less. Now, here's a picture to validate this authoritative statement, and you can read more about it on the internet. So college tuition's on the rise, and that's why I go to school for the cheapest amount possible and without taking out loans. I'm lucky in that sense. Some people can't do that, and I realize that. Now, take everything that I'm about to say and then multiply it by a holy fuck for everybody who takes out loans to go to school. And that's for people who don't study law or medicine. Do your homework. Write this down, write that down, remember this formula, and memorize that solution. That sums up 3 years of my college experience thus far. Prepare for a rant. The rant of rants. And a very discombobulated one at that. Okay, so quick disclaimer, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to school or that education isn't important. I think that education is important. However, I think that traditional education is not for everybody. And that based on my experiences, I'm mainly stating what I know to be true for my own. And that's my personal truth, not an absolute truth. So as you guys know, I'm a third year computer science student. And while I love learning maths, programming, algorithms, solving problems, reading, despite all of that, I think that standardized education is bullshit. Let me do a quick rundown on my current schedule. So firstly, we have ethics, which is answering the question, why is taking candy from a baby immoral? Then I also take theory of computing, which is how do computers work? I also take numerical simulation and science, which is how do we make computers work properly? And finally, data structures and algorithms, which is how do we make computers work efficiently? Now, on paper, ethics is supposed to talk about the ethical complexities of computer science in our world. However, the reality is that we watch 480p videos from 2011 and then make 1080p videos talking about them. I'll go into this more later. Next, you have, like I said, theory of computing, which is discrete mathematics that make up the theories of how computers work. Now, if you would like a quick primer on what discrete mathematics is, enjoy this short from Jarvis Johnson.
Constructing proofs. This was a discrete math class. I still don't really know what discrete math means. Discrete mathematics is the study of mathematical structures that are fundamentally discrete.
What is the reality of the theory of computing? Well, it's math without numbers. Next, you have numerical simulation in science. Well, what the f does that mean? It's the mathematics of computation and how to represent mathematical concepts in machines, which is basically math with numbers. And then finally, you have data structures and algorithms, which is basically the study of the structures that are used for abstractly storing, accessing, and modifying data, and the established ways of computationally accomplishing those tasks efficiently, which in reality just means using math with and without numbers. So it's all math, which I like. I like math, don't get me wrong. But the way that these classes are structured is that you are to be taught math by being talked at 24/7. Now, you might be asking, Neal, what the hell does this mean? And thanks for asking. It's very kind of you. I will happily explain my situation. In my ethics class, here is a day in the life. It's a bullshit class where you have to upload 3-minute recitations and pretend that you read these excerpts, articles, and get this, a textbook. The curriculum is designed by someone who needs to seem self-important, and that's very obvious. It's unnecessarily convoluted, and everybody complains about it. It's not just me. And your grade is dependent on a few meaningless words that you say in a recitation one day of the week, and then on power-tripping peer review graders who will do anything to knock your grade down, even if they don't have an explanation for it, and a 6-page report where you pretend to give a shit about the class that you don't go to. So we had to make a video about YouTube's policies and how some of them might be unethical, etc., etc. So, as someone who uploads videos, I thought, hey, I can offer an interesting perspective. Let me offer my 2 cents and talk about this ethical issue. And I did, for 3 minutes, like all my other videos that I upload to this godforsaken website. Now, Jonah watched my video and he decided to say that it was very professional and it's like he was watching a podcast. And he liked how I gave a perspective of someone who actually uses the platform to upload content, and that I gave insight to an issue that not many people might have an inside scoop on. Now, Josh, on the other hand, decided to not even watch my video because he couldn't figure out that his volume was muted, and decided to give me a 0. Back to the video. Now, what's the theory of computing? It's a math class. Pretty obvious. Is it important? Oh yeah, it's pretty important. Is it well taught? Definitely not. Is it boring? As fuck. You cover things such as finite automatons, these machines that allow us to theorize how computers work. You talk about regular expressions and Turing machines, which are very important concepts in computer science. And my biggest gripe with this class is just because you know something doesn't mean you're a competent teacher. My instructor for this class cannot write clearly, cannot convey concepts clearly, just writes down what comes to his mind and then expects everybody to understand what's going on. As you can see, most people are not paying attention or are so bored out of their minds they'd rather be staring into space. Most teachers are incompetent. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm just difficult to teach. Maybe I just like learning on my own. I think that most teachers are incompetent. The next wonderful class on my schedule is numerical simulation and science. And this should just be called doing harder math in computers. Because it is another math class, and it focuses on machine numbers, differential equation computations, as well as the maths that govern our world and the machines and how we reconcile that. Is it important? Yes. Is it taught well? Absolutely not. Mainly because the teacher merely reads a sheet that she prints out before coming to class and just copies down over the course of 75 minutes 3 times a week what is on the sheet. Now, why do I have to come to class to do that? I can do that on my own. I can save so much more time than coming to class. Why do I go to class? Because it's mandatory. They require you to go to class. Otherwise, your grade is significantly limited. You will no longer be able to make an A in the class or make, a B in the class if you don't go. That's absurd to me. That is, you're encouraging people to show up and fuck off. That's what I see in every class that I go to. I will study all these things on my own anyways. I have to in order to pass these classes. So if I have to self-study, I don't care. I like doing that. I can pace myself. I know myself. I know how to teach myself things. Why are you making me come to class? Just let me pay you to do nothing and just not come anyways. Don't waste my time. I'm already wasting money by going to school. Why are you also wasting my time? 2 of the most valuable resources we have as human beings. Anyways, the last class is data structures and algorithms. Now, this class is immensely important, especially for, interviewing at big tech companies and understanding the underlying concepts behind databases, back-end software development. A lot of concepts tie into data structures and algorithms. Basically, everything that's built on a very fundamental level involves, heavy knowledge of data structures and algorithms. Now, all we do in this class is for 75 minutes, 3 times a week, we have to listen to an incompetent professor who can barely write code in the first place and can't even read it and just merely puts up PowerPoint slides written in Comic Sans, Microsoft Cambria, and various fonts all in one slide and just reads code line by line and still fucks that up half the time and has to backtrack. Why am I wasting my time?
Because we focus on the maximum and saying here an approximation of n to the power 4. Just take the highest order. And it will-
Hey, wake up. I know I lost you there, okay? Keep watching. Why? Why do I have to be there? Why? That's all I'm saying. Why do I have to be there? It's not necessary. It's not necessary to be there. But once again, if you don't go, your grade could be impacted severely. I wish I could go into detail about how shit this class is and how terrible and how incompetent the professor is, but it would take me 20 minutes. So my biggest gripes here, my takeaways are, I'm forced to take all these topics and learn them on my own time and teach them to myself anyways. I'm not complaining about that. In fact, I like doing that. It's fun. It's how I learn to do everything else that I don't learn in school. And it's the same way that I learn how to work in my industry while I'm still in school, how to negotiate taxes. I teach myself shit all the time. It's not that I hate learning. I hate school. I don't learn by watching you read a PowerPoint or watching you screencast your iPad while you write stuff down from a PowerPoint. That's not learning. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me, at least. All of this is just for a piece of paper that I will never show anyone. I pay for the privilege of getting talked at for hours on end, only to be forced to learn it on my own time and then take your written assessment over how to arbitrarily follow your own set of instructions. That doesn't sound like learning to me. I don't know about you. Now, I'm not saying that all classes are like this, but between my experience through 2 reputable schools and 4 different majors that were all dissimilar, I can say that this is what my college experience has been like, and this is what many people's college experience is like. Now, for a majority of you watching, this may be the case. It may not be, I don't know. But the perpetual conditioning that we experience is ineffective. It's not learning. It's just meant to make you docile and less unique. We're all being funneled into conformity. I feel like I'm being funneled into conformity. What does this all mean? Nothing. These are just my thoughts. And my channel is not a school, so you're free to disagree or agree. You're free to give your opinion. You're free to leave. You're free to not watch this. But I think that it's something that a lot of other people can identify with, and that's why I feel like it's important to talk about, because I'm not alone, and you're not alone. If you'd like to see more content like this, hit the like button. It lets me know what you guys want to see. And leave a comment about what your thoughts on education are. Now, if you would excuse me, I have to abruptly end this video because